Hello, welcome back to the Monday Corner. My name is Lorna and let's see what I've been up to in the garden this week. Starting off in this corner, these two sand pits are going to be for my pumpkins. I did try growing my pumpkins indoors, but they failed to germinate. I did see that if you snip the ends, they get the water into easier and then they sprout quicker. So that's what I'm doing here. And I only want one plant, but I'm planting 3 in hopes at least one of them germinate. And if all 3 do, I will just pull out the weaker ones and hope the strongest one grows through the season. Why did the pumpkin go to the doctor? Because it was feeling a little squashed. Back to the garden, you can see my potatoes have just sprung up this week. They're looking huge, my first earlies and my second earlies. And I've been earthing them up, and when they've got to as high as I wanted them to be, I have put straw as a mulch to help keep the moisture in and to keep the slugs off. So that's what I'm doing here. I have recently gone to the garden centre and purchased a few more potatoes. These are apple fir tree, which is a main crop, and Caledonian rose, which is a red main crop potato as well. And the idea is when I've harvested my first earlies and my second earlies, I will plant these. Hopefully they'll last a few more weeks. Oh, the hanging baskets that were on here were collapsing the frame, so I've put brackets on the fence to hold my cherry tomatoes, which are growing nicely there. The sunflowers in the corner are still growing nicely, and it's now time to plant the runner beans. So I'm just removing some beans I grew too early, and I planted them out too early. They failed. So I'm just removing those and preparing some holes in the soil. I'm putting 2 beans at each stick, hoping one will germinate at each. If both do, I will just pull the weaker one out. I have planted 2 types of runner beans. I can't remember for the life of me what they are, but I will probably make a note in the description below. And I'm just doing the same for these last ones and watering them in. Why did the runner bean refuse to race? Because it heard the competition was too corny. Tell you, my jokes are corny. I have noticed that I've been having a lot of slugs lately. They are eating the leaves pretty bad. I mean, look at my rhubarb. I know there's not just slugs. I do have aphids as well, but gonna solve that issue a bit later. I do have my slug traps out now, and they have been catching them. Oh look, my lavender's got in flowers now. That's exciting. The blueberry plant, I've made a kind of structure to keep it upright because it was just sad. So I'm hoping that helps it. I need to actually research if it's climbing or not. Now I can actually plant my French beans out. So here we go. Dwarf French tender green. Again, like with the runner beans, I'm putting 2 at each stick, just hoping that one will germinate. And if 2 germinate in one pot and 1 germinates in the other, or none germinate in one, I will just transplant the beans, so I have 1 in each bucket. Now over in this corner, my onions are actually looking like they're doing something now, which is relieving. And my rainbow carrots have started to come up in the last couple of days, as well as my normal carrots. And I've only got a handful of parsnips coming up so far. Now over here along the fence line, I have taken my tomatoes I germinated inside, and I'm going to plant them out. Now I haven't given them any time outside in the pot, I'm just going for it because the next week or so is fairly okay weather with minimal rain and fairly warm, so I'm hoping they're just gonna cope with and adjust. Why did the tomato go out with a prune? Because it couldn't find a date. What did the tomato say to the other tomato during a race? Catch up, I'm ahead. Now those are in. Marigolds are still growing. Over here the herbs look like they've settled nicely into their pots. I have picked up some rocket, which just looks like weeds, and some lettuces. My chantenay carrots, so my little short carrots, have started to poke through as well. And the cherry trees are showing signs of cherries, a lot of them. More herbs here and more lettuces. And the chantenay carrots down here are also growing. And over here, the basil was looking sad, but it seems to have perked up a bit, so I think it's warmed up now. And here's a plant for the Dead Plant Club. One of my lettuces. Anyone know why that happened? Please let me know. Sunflowers are still growing in the corner. And yeah, I think the garden is starting to look more green. Now, I've also added straw to my strawberries to help keep the pests away and the moisture in, as that's why they're called strawberries. It's from the straw being placed around them to help protect them. They're looking good. And the ones down here. I have started to paint the shed. I'm wanting to kind of do a wilderness scene, but have it very faded and look weathered in, like the shed. So I'm just using a watered down stain, but you'll see in a minute that it's too watered down. It just completely faded, so I need to think about a plan whether or not to use some paint in there. But yeah, I want to make the shed look a little bit different. And in the UK, they hold a Shed of the Year competition, and hopefully maybe that's something for in the future. I'm not talking near future, I'm talking distant future, to have a funky shed. But yeah, it's faded far too much. I need to rethink my plan on that one. Now, this side of the garden you guys don't see because it is a bit of a mess. We need to move my compost bin over into the corner. These trees need to come out. The furnace thing will need to go in the shed when we're not using it. We've got some rubbish there, but the idea is to flatten this area a bit more, create a boundary and an area for my son. So this is really bad graphics, but we have some stepping stones, a tire for him to climb on, some raised stepping stones and a balance beam or two, as well as like a springy step. And then on the trunk below the strawberry tower have some kind of water play area and an arch for him to walk through with some peas maybe, and some peas along the wall maybe not. But yeah, that's the ideas. Sorry about the graphics, it's as best as I can do. And yeah, that's the plan. It's gonna take quite a while. It's not something we can do in a week. It's gonna be 2-3 months I think before that side of the garden is finished, but I will keep you updated with it. And yeah, thank you for sticking with me. If you've watched the video through this far, please like and subscribe. See you in the next video.